Welcome to the Steel Sanctuary podcast. I'm your host, Dave Ribeiro from SteelSanctuary.com. And this is my co-host, David Coro. Dave, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, brother?
Not much. Dave, let's review the wildest week in Steelers offseason history, brother. This has
Yeah,
been insane. All right, we started out with Deontay Johnson being traded. We're a little disappointed. We got off to a little bit of a rough start for this week. He got traded for Donta Jackson, swap picks, and other stuff. And then we find out they signed Russell Wilson. And we're like, holy shit, the Steelers have their quarterback. It's going to be a competition with Kenny. This is going to be great. And then the next day, Kenny Pickett gets traded to the Eagles. And we're like, holy shit, what's going on? Kenny Pickett didn't want to compete, I guess. And then when we thought it was all over, I get out of the shower on Saturday and I look at my phone and there's a report from Ian Rappaport saying the Steelers have traded for Justin Fields. So I text you and then I'm like, fuck, what if this is a stupid fucking one of those sites? One
yeah,
of those
yeah.
guys. So I had to go back and
fake
look.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, yep, it really did happen. I can't even think of anything close to this in the off season ever. Can you? And not
No,
even remotely close.
the era of Khan, baby. The era of Khan.
I mean, the Antonio Brown offseason was weird for different reasons. And it was kind of wild till they finally traded him to the Raiders. But this is in a class of its own.
Oh,
And you're right.
dude, this is. I'm never in my life with any team. I've never seen any team take their three quarterbacks on their team, and then the next season get rid of all of them and bring in completely new quarterbacks, 1 through 2 so far, which it will be 1 through 3.
Yep.
Incredible. You take your technically number one wide receiver, you ship him out too.
Yep.
That's incredible on its own. So now you took your starting quarterback, your starting wide receiver, and you sent them both back. Incredible. Just incredible.
All three of your quarterbacks and your starting your number one
Well,
wide receiver.
yeah, all three of your quarterbacks. I mean,
insane.
just it's just insane. My gosh, like
That's not even
if
counting signing a good linebacker like Patrick Queen. I didn't even bring
oh,
that up.
then
That's
you
like a
go
side
out,
note.
you go get technically the top linebacker on the market, right? Arguably,
Yeah.
you go get him. You give the most guaranteed money to a free agent in the history of the Steelers,
Yep.
which also was like, holy shit, man, they're not fucking around. So yeah, dude, like I said, this is even the experts are going, hey, this is not your grandpap Steelers. This
No.
is not even your father's Steelers. Like
No.
this is new here. This is a whole new
It's not
era,
my Steelers that I grew up with in the 70s and 80s. Never mind.
right?
This
So
is freaking
I,
insane.
we just normally we're very loyal to a fault. We just stick with the guys we bring in, and even if it means we go 2 decades without doing anything, at least we were loyal. I mean, that's really what it has been, with this Steelers organization. And don't get me wrong, loyalty is an important thing, but holy shit, sometimes the most important thing should be winning. And
Yeah.
it looks like my man Khan is like, yeah, nah, fuck this, I'm done. We're gonna go ahead and fix this. But Rooney really might have had the most
I was just gonna say that.
impact.
You took
So
the words right out of my mouth. Do we have to start giving Art a little credit for this? Because Khan can want to do this, but he can't do this without Rooney's blessing. So maybe we got to start giving Art Rooney a little bit of credit because I was definitely critical of him these last few months and these last few years. Honestly, I think he's kind of been kind of a statue there and hasn't done much and kind of
well, nobody's really brought this up, so I'll bring it up on here. Isn't it kind of convenient how he got that horrible grade when they came out with all those
right.
grades? He got a horrible grade, right? And the criticisms that they got for what they've been doing, about how they've been doing things with players and stuff, and I really wonder if he was just like, nah, fuck this. Like I'm not gonna get, I'm not gonna be looked at this way. Or what if he's like, hey, I'm not gonna be the first Rooney to fail, something like
I'm
that.
sure that's in the
And
back of
like
his
this, and
mind.
this is
I'm
speculation.
sure.
I'm just saying, like, I think it's
Yeah.
kind of weird how they came out with those grades My man got a bad grade. And now all of a sudden, we're sending everybody packing and bringing in, guys with that have a legit background as far as Russell Wilson goes, bringing in a guy with a high ceiling as far as Justin Fields goes. Signing a top linebacker. I've been telling you this for a while, haven't I? That they got to get younger at linebacker and bring in a young stud linebacker. We got to find the next, Ryan Shazier or something. We got to do something about that position. Because don't get me wrong, you can keep bringing in free agents, fine. Because I like Elandon Roberts and I liked Alexander and I liked Cole Holcomb. It's just that Cole Holcomb already had an injury history. Yeah. Quan Alexander was kind of getting, they're up there a little bit. And then Landon's just, he's usually your good run stopper guy. We need a guy that's legit both, right? And they went and did it. And so I very surprised. So, we were mad about the Deontay trade, right? Well, then my man today, we'll get to that, but just he's to me personally, he's been knocking it out of the park. Now it's all got to happen on the field. But as far as the offseason goes, my man's doing work. Like,
Dave's all
holy
in
shit.
Omar Khan. Dave
I'm all dude. Somebody, I think his name's Gotti on there on Twitter. He had the idea of having a jersey with Khan's name on the back of it.
Yeah, and number one, right? And
yeah. Dude, I'm digging it. I'm like, damn.
You guys out of control. I wonder if we didn't give enough credence to that when Art Rooney said, "We need to win a playoff game." I'm tired of this. We need to win. I think the pressure's really gotten to even him. Like, you haven't won a playoff game since 2017, right? It's 2017. Yeah. So, and you're right. He's threatened. He could go down as the Rooney that didn't do it, that couldn't get it done, couldn't get this team. And that's got to be pressure on him. You're right. That was a great point. I wonder if that really spurred action and then made him say, all right, Omar, go do something. Go get something. Is the other thing where this just kind of all kind of haphazardly fell into place. And, Russell Wilson just became available and he was a no-brainer. And then I was going to save this to the end, but we need to do this now. How much did they dislike Kenny Pickett? How much did they to give up on him like in a blink of an eye? It's
you wanted to save the whole, all these sources like that.
It's so relevant right now to
something. There's something there that we didn't see. There,
something going on, right?
I speculate there's something there we didn't see, to where some people just were like, I'm done. I mean, that's really
so far out of character for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, I get. Look, you good.
If they had just done Russell Wilson and had a competition, that would have been normal business, or a little bit out of the.
Well, I would say normal business. I'm not ready to go there, but
yeah, it would have been a little bit out of normal. But at least you could still steal the Steelers doing it.
Yeah, that'd have been just the one move we would expect. Let's put it that way. Like, okay,
but to trade him away,
right?
A first round pick from 2 years ago, who, we're not buying it, but if you wanted to, you could make all excuses in the book for him. It was Matt Canada, it was this, it was that, and all the media is so divided on this. Like, people have dug in, and we were going to say this at the end, but we might as well go now. The source, I'm going to call it SourceGate, because people, you got DK
SourceGate. I love it.
And some of these people on one side saying Kenny Pickett absolutely did not refuse to go in the game against Seattle. He did not refuse to be the backup. It was an injury, blah, blah, blah. And you've got people on the other side that have sources again. It's the Mark Maddens. It's those two guys I brought to your attention today. Steel Here podcast.
Yeah, Jerry the Kid and Kevin Adams on that.
They swear up and down that they have sources in the building that said
he
did refuse.
Their source is Kenny. Like, when he made the comment on their pod, it came directly from the horse's mouth. He made that comment. He means Kenny Pickett.
But he said he had text messages.
But who
to back it up? Did Kenny Pickett text him?
Right, because didn't they got the? I don't really listen to them, but like every once in a while, I thought they posted something about they went out to eat with Kenny and them. This was like a year ago, maybe 2. Maybe he became really good friends or friends of a friend, something. But maybe somebody had text messages, and maybe there was a Kenny Pickett told somebody, yeah, I said, fuck that. I ain't backing him up. You never know, dude. You never know. But again, why does everybody got fucking sources? This shit is fucking ridiculous.
It's crazy. They can't all be right.
That's like saying that everyone had a friend that was in that fucking room that night. They asked him, hey, will you be the emergency,
Well, that's what they're saying. That's what they're all saying. That they all had knew somebody in the building when that went down. I'm not buying it. And I hate to say it, I know you like DK, and I know he's a pretty reputable guy and has good sources. The fact that they traded Kenny Pickett away, they didn't just decide that overnight. I know he asked for a trade, but they don't have to give him a trade.
It's damning in the evidence you want that he definitely didn't want to be the third QB. If you're trying to say that he didn't say that, yet they traded him away, and they did it quickly without even, it definitely makes it look like he definitely has started trouble in the building a ways back. But I don't know. I really don't. I'm not going to say I got any fucking sources or anything.
No, we definitely have sources.
My problem is, here for me, here's another thing to me. It's damning on Kenny's part. The fact that Russell Wilson comes in, and you hear they sign him, and you automatically cancel your practice with the wide receivers.
Yep. Okay.
If anything, it should have been the opposite. You should have been motivated. You should have been like, that's cool, man. Cool. I like competition. Bring him in here. I don't give a shit. I'm going to work with these guys. I am going to get better, and I am going to prove it to everyone that I should be a starting quarterback in the NFL. No, my man canceled practices, whined and cried, and then said, I don't want to be a Steeler no more.
Requested a trade,
and for me, that's where it ends. Like, you don't want to be a Steeler no more? Fine. Fuck you. Get out.
I mean, there's always that thing. Good.
I don't care. Like, I put this on Twitter, and I'm going to say it on here. I don't care that if you were, maybe you were put on the wrong track, or, were done wrong, or all this other stuff. The moment you decided I don't want to be a Steeler anymore is the moment I decided I don't give a shit anymore with you. Good riddance. You know what I'm saying? So I don't need to say anything nice about this guy. He took 2 or 3 days to put something up, but Steelers still haven't said nothing about him. But the Steelers haven't said nothing back to him. Did you notice that? The Bears didn't for Justin.
They're not happy with him, I'm telling you.
So it was pretty bad. Like, it had to be really bad. But they talked to him today about it. Like, I don't know if you were going to bring that up or not.
Go ahead. I didn't really get to hear the whole press conference.
Well, they basically he just said that he just thought it was time, and that there were closed doors conversations, and because of how some things happened, he just thought it was time to move on to go somewhere where he could get better.
How's he going to get better in Philly? Behind Jalen Hurts.
Yeah,
come on, man.
But see,
that's bullshit. He walked away from competition. That's bad, dude.
But see, the fact that basically they shipped him right off to Philly quick tells me everything I need to know, because they could have worked on deals for him to see what would be the highest bidder, right? It sounds like to me, as soon as Philly said, hey, we'll give you a third for the fourth and 2 7s, they were like, good enough, bye. You know, it seems like it was rather quick. So, I mean, you think about it. He requested trade. If it was the day prior, right, when they signed Wilson, if he requested it that night or that day, the very next day he's gone. I mean, that's quick, dude. That is quick. So
I get being a little frustrated that the Steelers said he was going to get the first crack. Russell Wilson was going to get the first crack at the starting job. But damn, where's your competitive spirit? Where is that? You ran away from a fight. That doesn't look good.
To me, he came across entitled.
Yeah.
And you haven't earned fucking jack shit to be this way. So
yeah, that's what I said in the last part. He doesn't deserve to be pouting and stomping his feet saying it's my job. Bro, you didn't do anything to earn that job. Nothing.
Now, I will say, like, if they told him it was going to be a competition and then they up and changed their mind and said, oh, we changed our mind, now he's going to be a starter, I could get why he's upset. But he has to understand it's on him. He's the one that failed to show them that he's enough. Like, in the end, we got to look ourselves in the mirror and be like, hey, look, I'm supposed to be the guy you drafted 20th overall in a draft, and I haven't done enough to show you this. This is a business. The goal here is to win, and he hasn't gotten them anywhere. So I don't tell a kid, like, it's just like, look, life's tough. I don't know what to tell you, honestly. And that's the way I look at it.
I sincerely think if he went to Mike Tomlin and said, you know what? Okay, I'm glad you got Russell Wilson. I'm going to beat him out. I'm going to be the guy.
Right.
Mike Tomlin would have been tickled pink. And if he went out and really competed and played well, I bet there's a chance he could have won that starting job. Because I think Mike Tomlin at some point, maybe not recently, but some point liked that kid and wanted him to be the guy.
Absolutely.
I don't know if it soured after that whole debacle with the. I think that started the ball rolling.
In
The
Seattle, you
refusing
mean?
to, yeah, in Seattle
Yeah.
when he refused to dress for that Seattle game, I think that left a sour taste. Think about it. They went with Mason Rudolph for the rest of that season. Mason
Yeah.
Rudolph, who they could give two shits about for the last two seasons. They made the poor guy beg for his job back in Pittsburgh last off season. They didn't want him. He had nowhere else to go. So to give him the start over your first round pick going into the playoffs, that spoke volumes. And then now this last complaining or being pissed, he was probably pissy about Russell Wilson getting traded to
Right.
them. They were probably like, you know what? We've had it with you. We've had it with you shtick. We're not taking it anymore. You're entitled. You haven't earned it. We like Mike Tomlin always says, I don't want hostages. I want what the hell's that? I'm gonna blow it now. I don't want hostages. I want volunteers. So that he
Yeah.
see you later. And this is surprising because everything leading into that draft about Kenny Pickett was his intangibles. He's a leader. He's a good kid. This and that. Apparently, none of that was true.
I still speculate that it wasn't even the whole, well, now he's going to be quarterback one. I still speculate that as soon as it came out that Cam, Minka, TJ, every single leader on that team recruited him to the Steelers, I truly believe that was the change with him. That's when he was like, okay, none of these guys back me whatsoever. I'm done. I truly believe that's what it was. I could be completely wrong here.
Stick
But
around
I'm
and
just
prove me
saying,
wrong.
like, if I'm a guy and I see that all the leaders on the team, all the top players, all your, defensive MVPs and all that stuff, when I see that they're just like, nah, dude, we want this guy. And then you see Steeler legends dining with him and stuff. Like I told you,
It was bad.
non-hostile takeover.
It was
And
bad.
I think Kenny saw it and he didn't like it. And he went, you know what? I'm done. And that's what happened. But to be so quick to get him out of there, like, damn, I thought that they would, you'd think they would, unless that was, maybe they did talk to other teams and maybe the best offer was the Eagles offer. That's something I'd like to know. I'd like to know if there were any other teams that made offers and what they were. Because we've heard the Bears, like we've heard now that the Justin Fields chose the Steelers.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up next. It seems like I guess Ryan Poles really stuck to his word and said, I'm going to try to do what's best for, Justin Fields. And Justin Fields wanted to go to Pittsburgh and trade him there.
And you know what? I really appreciate that. I appreciate
Yeah, we appreciate that too. I don't think Bears fans appreciate that.
If I was Bears fans, I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing?
This is a business, man. You don't do shit like that.
No.
You get the best deal you can. Maybe that was the best deal. We don't know, but you try to get the best deal you can.
They're saying that there are better offers. And he was just like, Justin, what do you want? Could you imagine? Like, no. I couldn't imagine. As soon as I got the best offer I could get, I've been like, you're out. See ya.
Now, I read something on Twitter, and I forget who posted it, that Justin Fields told them the only team he'd go to is Pittsburgh, but I don't know. He really doesn't have the power to do that. I mean, he can, I guess, hold out once he gets there.
I'm sure there were other teams he likes. Maybe the Steelers were number one on his list, or out of the teams, they were number one. But I'm sure there are other teams. I mean, unless it's just the Mike Tomlin magic, man. Everybody wants to go play for Mike, dude. So
one of the number one things about having Mike Tomlin as your coach is he is a recruiter.
That's like if Mike Williams makes it through the first two visits he's got and gets that Steelers facility, that dude may not leave. He may leave a Steeler. If he
I want
leaves,
to talk about Mike Williams next. I have some thoughts on him.
Absolutely.
Let's put a bow on this. What do you think of Kenny Pickett, the person? He wasn't anything he was cracked up to be. I'm really.
I mean, if we're slowly talking about like what we thought we were getting, he had me fooled as shit, dude.
Yeah.
Like last preseason, I mean, I was there and saw it with my own eyes at Acrisure and just thought, oh my gosh, like we literally got away with getting another franchise QB. And it just seemed like in the 49ers game, he never was the same.
He never recovered. Yeah.
He never recovered. It was like he got stuck in that I got to move or I'm going to get killed. and that was it. You never saw a different Kenny Pickett after that, and it really sucks because the Kenny Pickett I saw come back and beat the Raiders, come back and beat the Ravens the year
Yep.
prior.
Yep.
That really had me sold. I thought, okay, my guy is clutch. He's got the clutch gene. Here we go. And then nothing. Like it was just, I don't know.
And even deeper than that, the fact that he fell apart after that 49ers game, and then he wasn't the competitive guy he was billed to us as, this ultra competitive, high character guy. Doesn't seem like that's what we're talking about here.
Yeah, and I'm not, and I don't really want to pick on his character. I just don't understand what happened. Instead of getting better, he got worse. And you want to blame Matt Canada, fine, but Matt Canada wasn't forcing him to leave the pocket so early. Matt Canada wasn't teaching him, wasn't the one out there throwing passes that were like 10 feet over people's head or 10 feet behind him or 10 feet in front of him on the ground. That wasn't Matt Canada. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Matt Canada can't throw the fucking ball for him too. And I don't even want to defend Canada. He was fucking garbage. But in general, just with physical attributes of it being solely on Kenny, I don't know what happened. Like it fell apart with him. And sometimes these things happen. It's just the Steelers usually would have let him play out his full contract and we would have gotten nowhere. And that didn't happen. They said, no, fuck this. We're done. You're gone. Since you want to be like this, you press for trade. Fine. Because here's the other thing too. If the Steelers really didn't want to lose him, they would have tried to talk him into staying.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure we've heard stories of this kind of stuff, of them and players not being happy and thinking about requesting trades. And they talk to him and try to talk them into staying. That, with this, it didn't happen. He said, I want out. And they went, you're fine. Go.
Don't let the door hit you on the way out, basically.
And here's another thing I wanted to bring up too. Besides the whole, another one of my things I've noticed nobody's brought up thing. Don't take away the effect of Kevin Colbert with this whole Kenny Pickett thing too.
Oh, you're going to throw some shade on my boy now. Go ahead.
No, not like that. Like he's still connected to the Steelers. He still has some kind of thing with them, if I remember correctly.
Yes, yeah, you're right. He does.
So you also have to remember too that like there had to be some weird thing there. Like, hey man, that was your guy, but I think we're done with your guy. Like I also wonder if there was a conversation with Colbert as well.
See, the thing is, I don't buy that it was just Kevin Colbert's guy.
No.
I think that was an organizational.
I'm not trying to throw shade at him. I'm saying I wonder if they had a talk with him, like, hey man, like this kid's not acting.
I'm sure they might have run it by him. Like, what happened?
And, do you think I like because I gotta think in my head. Amor Khan has to look at him like a mentor, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So I have to think in my head that, like, if that was my mentor that drafted this kid, in a way, I probably went to him and was like, look, this kid's requested a trade. It hasn't really worked out. If we trade him, do you think this should be okay? You think this is a good move, or would you be okay with this? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
I often wonder if they had Colbert involved with it too, because of the fact that was his guy, and he wanted to leave them with a franchise quarterback, and it didn't work out. In fact, it got horrible. And so I'm curious if he was involved in anything.
It's a good question. I don't know. I suppose they could have gone to him and said, hey, remember back when we thought this guy was good? What happened?
Yeah.
What do you think happened here? And then I don't know. Maybe he said, look, who knows? I can't even begin to speculate on that. But it's over now. Kenny Pickett era is over. I was thinking about this today, Dave. If you would have told me in mid-December last year that Kenny Pickett played his last game as a member of the Pittsburgh Steelers, I would have told you were fucking nuts. Like, right. There's no way. There was no way. We said it multiple times on here. We thought for sure they were going to do Kenny Pickett, Mason Rudolph, and a later round draft pick, and that was going to be the plan. They were going to be stuck in the mud. So thank goodness they moved on. Thank goodness and maybe Kenny Pickett helped them move on. He made it a lot easier by acting the way he acted, but at the end of the day, they did it. And, it doesn't surprise me at all. I didn't like the pick when it happened. I admittedly fell a little bit for it. Like you said, those 2 comeback games, I was like, okay, maybe I was wrong. Maybe this kid does have something. And, the Kenny stands were all over. He's, all his comeback wins. It's like, Well, maybe if he played better in quarters 1 through 3, you wouldn't have to have so many comeback wins.
It'd be nice.
There's a reason for that. So to put a bow on it, it's the Kenny Pickett era will be looked back on as it set the franchise back 2 years. The Kenny Pickett / Matt Canada era was a disaster.
Yeah.
There's no way around it.
Yeah.
No way around
it. No way around it.
And you can blame a lot of people for that. Colbert, Tomlin, they didn't have a good succession plan for Ben Roethlisberger when he retired.
We can blame history too. We can blame history too.
Yeah,
they were dude. I firmly believe this. They were worried they were gonna make the same mistake they made not taking Marino.
Yeah, it's not a good plan.
And they decided to do it.
I think there's something to that, and I think that's a Rooney thing because he was around when the Dan Marino thing happened. All right, to wrap this up, I did the poll. I don't even know if I told you we did the poll question, the Sunday poll question.
No, let it rip. I'm
sorry. I put it out on Sunday and I forgot to go over with you. I asked everybody who would be the Steelers starting quarterback, not this season, but the following season, 2025. I gave you a choice of Justin Fields, Russell Wilson, or someone else. Justin Fields won 50%. Russell Wilson got 37%, and someone else got 13%. As far as comments, there wasn't many. We got into an argument over whether Russell Wilson's a good quarterback or not. That's kind of irrelevant to the poll itself. But do you agree? Do you think Justin Fields is the future starting quarterback in 2025? I don't think so. The
only reason why I would think that it's Justin Fields instead of Russell Wilson is that Russell Wilson's going to have a good season and want $1 bajillion. That's why. Like if my man does go off or does good and he goes, I want 35 plus mil per, they're going to be like, no. And he may be like, all right, I'm out. That's the only reason why I can see
scenario
that because it's the Steelers. I mean, it took Ben Roethlisberger winning them 2 Super Bowls for them. It might have been after the first Super Bowl when he got his first big extension. I can't remember.
I think
it was his first Super Bowl, but they gave him what was considered at the time a pretty big, lump sum there, money per. So I could see Russell Wilson being like, I want 35 plus. If Kirk Cousins coming off a huge injury can get 45 plus, then guess what I want? He's going to want that last big payday, Dave, because it's going to be his last one, his last big 4-year deal or whatever. I that's the only thing I worry about, and I think that's why Omar Khan did this, getting Justin Fields, because you bring him in, you decline his 5th-year option, right? He's the backup. You're driving that price way down.
Yeah, you are.
And then when Russell Wilson goes, I want this, they go, no, we're going to go ahead and extend Fields for $10 million per and look like geniuses if it works out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's where I see it being Justin Fields. Now, how do I see it being the opposite way where it is Russell Wilson? Is if he does good enough for them to win. Say they win a playoff game, right? But he didn't.
I was going to say that.
He didn't like light the world on fire. Like he didn't have Mahomes numbers or Allen or Kirk Cousins, but he had middle tier but better than Kenny. We'll put it this way. We'll say it's second tier, maybe, but it was good enough for them to win a playoff game. Then maybe he'll go for like 20 per. And maybe they can make that work.
Million is a bargain for today's quarterbacks, dude. They're going for 50 plus million bucks.
Maybe, but the Steelers may not feel that way. I like I said, I think they're the type where you got to win a Super Bowl for them to back up the Brinks truck to hand you millions and millions and millions of dollars. Like I just don't think they're like that, Dave. They're not going to take a guy that didn't win them anything yet. At most, we're talking a playoff game if we feel like we can do that with him, right? But if, like I'm saying, if he wants to be with Tomlin and takes the hometown discount, right? The little saying I like to use, then he stays. He will be the quarterback. And Justin Fields, it could be anything. They could be like, hey, we want to keep you here as a backup. They'll probably say no. But maybe. You know what I'm saying? You just don't know what these guys and their egos and their agents and what they're going to want and what they think they are versus reality. So, but those are the two scenarios. One is he'll want to stay here because he put up numbers good enough, but not good enough to want elite money. Or it'll be the opposite. He'll be off the charts and want, huge money. And I'm like, nope, no, thank you. We're going to go ahead and give Justin Fields a shot.
Well, here's the thing. I think the line in the sand is if he wins a playoff game. If he wins a playoff game, how the hell do you sell to the Steelers fans? All right, we'll go in another direction now. We finally won a playoff game after 7 years. We're not going to pay it. We're not going to pay the quarterback that got us there.
It's tough.
If he wins a playoff game, he can almost write his own check. I mean, they're not going to go 50 million, but they might think 30 million is a bargain for a playoff, and go 2 seasons at 30 million, 3 seasons.
I'll tell you this: I got faith in Omar Khan figuring it out.
Yeah. So, yeah,
but tell me just imagine this is how good of a position they're now in, where they have 2 guys, one who's got the resume already, and the other who's got the ceiling.
Yep.
To where in the end they can take their pick. They're going to take their pick. Dude, it could be complete opposite. Russell Wilson could suck this year. In game 4, they put in Justin Fields, and he does 10 times better. And it ends up being that Fields is the guy. You just don't know.
That's the scenario that costs the Steelers the most money.
Yeah.
If Justin Fields somehow gets the starting job, and God forbid he wins a playoff game, he can ask for $40+ million.
Yeah, first the Bears get a 4th instead of a 6th next year.
Yes, that too.
And on top of that, they got to decide if they're going to get bullied into the 5th-year option, or are they going to? But no, it'll be 4th.
The 5th-year option's gone.
That's right. It was gone. That's good. That's actually a good thing, because then they can work on their own extension with him without the $25 million 5th-year option. Oh, well, yeah, but I mean, if he's the guy, then great. They found their guy.
Well, yeah.
So, and he's young. What I'm saying is that if you found your guy and he's young, then that's okay to me. That's the way I look at it. But that's why these moves are so good and brilliant and genius to make, because now they've given themselves 2 options of where to go with this.
Yep.
Before it was like, you got 3 options of mid. Do I want low mid, mid, or high mid? Now we don't have it.
Yeah.
Right. Our high mid was Mason, just for the record.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about Donte Jackson. His contract got restructured. I don't really understand what happened here, but they lowered his number from 10 million to 6 million.
God bless that man. He was just nice and went, yeah, sure.
I'll take $4 million less.
I was just like, really? Like, wow, my man was just like, yeah, I'll give up $4 million. I don't know.
So it makes the trade a little bit more palatable.
It
now
does.
They have $4 million more to play with in free agency. Yep. I don't know if this puts the Steelers back in the market for another corner in free agency, or if Snead's back on the table.
Somebody said that the Jefferson signing they're not done a wide receiver.
Yeah, I don't think they are. Let's flip to that now. Mike Williams is reported to be coming in for a visit for the Steelers. People are speculating a lot of people are, just trying to check him out because he had a torn ACL last year, and then just trying to figure out where he is medically, and then go from there. Dave, I don't know. This guy scares me. I like the player. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But you're talking about, again, I hate to keep being this guy, but he's going to be 30 this year. He's coming off a major knee injury. He's only played 1 full season in his entire career.
Right.
In the NFL. He's been hurt every year.
Now, I will say this, though. I was watching the Pat McAfee show earlier today, and they did say that he's played 13 games or more every season except last season.
Yeah.
So
but it's always been nagging injuries.
But I was the same way. I'm like, this guy's injured a lot. But also on the plus side of that is that you hope that drives his price down. It drives it down to where it's not going to be as high as a price.
I can't imagine he gets much money. Who's going to pay him?
But right. And that's the way I'm looking at it too. Like, dude, you are injured often, but especially off a major injury last year, the price should come down. Now, mind you, the Chargers want to bring him back too. I don't know if you know that or not. They're interested to bring him back. They just didn't want to pay him at the price. So it may be easier for him to just stay home. I just think if he makes it to Pittsburgh, if he gets through his other 2 visits, I forget. I think it's the Panthers and Saints. I can't remember who it is.
I can't remember who the other teams were.
But if he makes it to Pittsburgh, I think they sign. I think he's going to show up there, see the 6 Lombardis, see Coach Mike, and Russell Wilson probably there waiting for him with the red carpets. And he's probably like, my gosh, I'm going to have, Russell Wilson. And if he gets hurt, I got Fields right behind him.
Yeah. I don't know. And he does one other thing. He's kind of an older version of George Pickens. I mean, they're the same guy, more kind of.
I was just about to bring up George Pickens. I was about to bring him up. Think about it. He'll be across from George Pickens. So guess what's going to happen? They're going to double up George Pickens, and he's going to put up really good numbers. In theory,
it could be.
Or it could be the opposite. They double him up, but that really creates some problems for defenses. Someone's going to eat. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's going to be one of them. So,
depending on how much they pay him, let's see how much this contract.
I wonder if they do a one-off with him, just 1 year.
1 year, $3 million,
something. I mean, I don't know, maybe more than that. It's going to take more than that.
Man, it's going to.
You know, really, what we should do is one of us should look it on Spot Track and see what his projected money is, because that's what I'm kind of curious is whether or not what he's projected to be because he's got a bad injury.
I mean, Jesus Christ, they paid Allen Robinson $10 million last year. He was coming off an injury, but still, he's more washed than Mike Williams is. I don't really know.
I'm working on it.
I don't know if that. So now you don't have like a route runner, like a guy, a quicker receiver. You've got two, basically, throw the ball up there and go get it type receivers. I don't know.
His contract originally, he signed with them was 3 years, $60 million. Did you know that?
$20 million a season. Yeah.
God,
he was good. I mean, he was he was a really good player, but was being the key word there. We don't know if he still is. Coming off a knee surgery, it worries me. You're right though. If Mike Tomlin gets a hold of him, he might be able to throw that voodoo on him and he'll sign him. Hopefully a team-friendly deal.
Damn, they don't have the.
Yeah, they might not have done one for him.
Guaranteed at signing was $40 million.
Yeah,
Jesus, what in the world were they doing? That's a lot of. I don't know if I'd have went that high. Good Lord.
Let's flip over to Tyler Boyd. People are reporting now that some people in the organization are not too crazy about signing Tyler Boyd. Did you see that?
Yeah, I thought that was weird. I was like, "What? Why?" Like
I'm not sure.
I thought that was strange.
An injury too, right?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't get it either. Like I don't. The only thing I think of is that behind closed doors, we don't know how much money him and his agent wants.
Yeah, and Caboli's the one that reported that, so take it. He's usually fairly reliable.
So, I honestly think he wants too much.
It's probably. I mean, again, another older receiver. I don't know.
I'm telling you, I think he wants too much money.
That's probably what it is.
It's speculation on my part, but I think they probably thought, hey, this guy wants to come home. They probably floated him a number. I'm not going to say what number. I have no idea. And then he probably was just like, no, I want this. Remember, you said what? On Spot Track, I said $8.7 million?
Yeah.
Was his market value?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
They didn't have one for Williams, by the way. But for Boyd, $8.7 million, the Steelers probably went below that. So he's probably like, no.
Yeah, I'm sure they were.
Or his agent's like, no. So they're probably like, okay, then. So guys in that organization are probably going, look, he was the third guy. He's only had 1,000-yard season. We're not paying a premium for a 1,000-yard season wide receiver.
Yeah.
Yes, he classifies apparently as a good blocking wide receiver, which would fit Arthur Smith's scheme. But sorry, not paying you that kind of money.
Would you rather have Tyler Boyd or Mike Williams?
Mike Williams. No doubt.
Have Tyler Boyd.
Wow. Really?
I think I'd rather have Tyler Boyd. I think he fits better.
Yeah. Blocking wise, yeah.
Blocking wise, a little different than what Pickens is. He offers different things.
But I think Mike Williams is more of a problem for offenses. I think he's more dynamic and does more splash because that's what. Let's think about this. It's bad enough the focus is going to be the running game. Okay. But if you get two big time wide receivers that can do massive damage.
Yeah.
Now you have, do I dare say it, a dynamic offense?
Easy.
I know. That's what I'm saying. The goal is,
that's
why you go get a Mike Williams. A Tyler Boyd is not going to be that. He's he's not. I don't think he's dynamic. I'm just going to say he's not dynamic. Okay.
No, he's not. Well, he's not.
He's
It's not
not
his game.
T.
It's not his
Higgins,
game.
and he's not Chase.
Jamar Chase. No.
He's not them. Okay. Now, but Mike Williams, in my opinion, that's just my opinion, is a higher tier than Boyd when healthy. We'll say that too. When healthy.
Yeah. They might be both washed up. Who knows?
Who knows? But I'm just saying, like, if I had to pick the more dynamic wide receiver to do more damage to offenses and make it tougher on them.
Yeah.
Think about this. If you're a defense, you're facing Boyd and Pickens, who you doubling up?
Oh, you're doubling Pickens no matter what. Even if it's Mike Williams, you still
okay.
You still
so who? All right. Second question then, since you rebuttal that, who does more damage then, Boyd or Williams 1-on-1?
Yeah, in a perfect world, Williams does if he's healthy.
Because let's think about this. Boyd was the third wide receiver, so he was the slot wide receiver, and only has one 1,000-yard season. That's it.
We talked about that, Dave. When you got Jamar Chase and Higgins,
but
there's not going to be many
still,
balls coming your way.
He didn't do massive damage either.
It's tough. It's a tough situation to be in.
He should have been the one guy that wasn't getting doubled up ever.
Yeah, but Burrow's going to force it to Chase, double, triple, and Higgins too. Yeah, I get it. You're right. I mean, Mike Williams.
There should be no debate
healthy.
Here. Mike Williams is the more dynamic.
Yeah.
I'll show you the stats. We can do that too. We can do it
no. I get it. I get it. But which Mike Williams are we getting? And all this.
Right.
I don't know. One of the receiver news: the Steelers supposedly had some interest in Quez Watkins from the Eagles. I looked him up. He's a 4.3 guy. He averages 15 yards a catch. So that's an interesting guy. It's kind of, he's never really been a big time receiver.
I know.
Either,
the production's not there, so it's like, why?
Yeah. Dave, the center market is drying up. Bradley Bozeman signed today. Yeah. I forget who he signed with. I should have wrote that down before we get on. But now, basically, and I have some bad news.
Did he go to the Dolphins?
Yes. No. The Titans, old Brewer went to the Dolphins. I don't know where Bradley Bozeman went. I read an article about Connor Williams today, bro. This guy's not even ready for the season. His agent
pretty messed
today,
up.
I'm going to read the quote because I thought it was, if I can find it quick without holding up this podcast. Drew Rosenhaus is his agent. He said he has a pretty significant injury, so he's taking his time with rehab. I don't think his plan is to sign with the Dolphins or any team right now. I think he's focused on his medical situation, getting healthy, and then seeing where he stands. Not anytime soon. So, bro, they don't even want to shop him around because his knee's not there.
I think basically what we're seeing here, Dave, is they're taking JPJ with the 20th overall pick because they have no choice. Exactly, they have to go him. But the dark horse is Zach Frazier. Don't be surprised if they make sure they get their guy. And I'm not saying this because he's a WVU guy. I am just saying that the top two ranked centers in this fucking draft is those two. And some scouts have Frazier ranked higher than JPJ.
Yeah.
So I just speculate they could go either way. I already told you I love JPJ. I think he's a beast. Yeah. So I'd be okay with first round. I think they have no choice. I really don't think they have a choice. They have to go get a guy that's going to be awesome at the position. They can't afford to take a chance on a guy later in the draft and he's a dud. They got to get a guy they know is going to be legit. They have to because all the top centers in free agency are gone. Unless they're going to go with Herbig. Is that the plan? I just saw something today where he only has so many snaps at center.
Yeah, he doesn't have many.
He doesn't have many. So it's like, Jesus, like, please tell me this is not the plan.
I know you don't like this idea.
No, here we go. Fucking let's draft the next guard / center / tackle.
Well, the move is to move James Daniels to center and then maybe draft a guard in the second round.
They could. I don't like it, but they could.
That's the move. There's a couple of good guards that will go later or sign a guard.
I just want to be on record saying I fucking hate it. I fucking hate it. I like it.
It would be so Steelers to do it too.
But I want a guy with only a C ever.
Yeah.
Next to his name.
And here's the thing. If I'm James Daniels, I'm not playing center until you give me a new contract. This is the last year of his deal. So I'm not going to risk my,
that'd be a disaster
my value.
If after the draft he was like, I'm not playing it. Like, dude,
you have to clear it with him and you have to probably sign him. to a long-term deal before
I
he
don't know.
agrees to it.
Omar said that he didn't think that happened. He thinks he's doing really well as a guard. But my Omar Khan also said we have faith in Kenny
Yeah,
Pickett.
he's in full faith in Kenny Pickett. So,
the con artist, baby.
Yeah, for sure. All right, only a couple more things here. Mike Vrabel signed with the Browns. That's kind of weird, huh? As a consultant slash, man, if I was the head coach of the Browns, I'd be kind of looking over my shoulder a little bit, like, they got my replacement in the building already.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought that was he just can't get a job because teams are kind of hesitant to hire defensive coaches to be head coaches nowadays.
You're right.
Oh, Colin Coward was talking about stuff today about the succession of quarterbacks that have been getting drafted lately. When they go to teams where there's defensive head coaches with offensive coordinators they have never worked with before, it's a disaster.
Yeah, he's been on that kick for a while.
Yeah,
and he's kind of right. He's kind of right.
Like I hate to say it, he was right about the Steelers too. When he was talking shit on the Steelers a year or two ago, I hated that guy. I was just like, fuck you. But he was right. He was dead on. Don't get me wrong. There's some things he'll say, and you're like, you have no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah, he throws some.
Yeah, he'll say some stuff, and you're like, what? Yeah. Because he's done with baseball stuff too, I believe. Said some things, and you're just like, what are you talking about?
All sports, yeah.
But with that, he was right.
Dave, I got a question for you. What's going on with Cleveland's quarterback situation? Have you been keeping track of this?
No.
They signed Jameis Winston.
Yeah, no, I knew that.
They signed Tyler Huntley.
Yep.
And they have what's his name now? Dorian Thompson-Robinson under contract for another couple of years. So they have 4 quarterbacks. Is something going on with Mr. Happy Massage that we don't know about?
Mr. Yoga Pose?
Mr. Happy Ending?
Baby Yoda Pose guy?
I mean, they signed Winston like a couple of days ago. Now they signed another backup quarterback?
I don't know, man. You think they cut him?
Is there some legal stuff coming that we don't know about? That's about to hit the fan? Is he going to get suspended again?
My dude teabagged somebody on the head or something for another massage. It's hard to tell.
I'm almost embarrassed to admit that I was dying for the Steelers to trade for this guy.
Oh, but I remember.
Before we knew all with the details.
Yeah.
Please. Before we knew all the details. But god damn, this is
it's a disaster.
And now signing all these quarterbacks, I think something's up.
And Cleveland fans are so fucking arrogant. Like they're this big thing. And they've literally done nothing. It's just it cracks and it's me up. They've done nothing. And it might be going downhill, and they don't know it. Yeah. No, I thought
that was really weird when they signed Huntley. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I forgot that they already had Dorian Thompson and they had just signed Jameis Winston. I was like, when you said it, I was like, wait a second, you're right. That's 4 QBs now, unless they just want that many for camp. I don't know.
Yeah, not too many people have that many. I mean, they're good.
Not at that level. Yeah, because Huntley's a great backup. Huntley's actually a good backup.
And Jameis Winston is an established backup too.
Winston's established backup too. Dorian Thompson, you never know, ceiling with him or not as being drafted last year. So, dude, I'm gonna die laughing.
Oh my god! If
the Browns he's in more trouble or something,
man.
Dude.
We don't know. Obviously, we're just speculating, but it does. It's very strange to have 4, quarterbacks on your roster that have started games in this league.
Yeah,
it's strange.
My sister Lisa, she calls them the Brownie Clownies. So that's what we call them every time they do a dumbass decision. We call them the Brownie Clownies.
It's wild.
Yeah.
All right, one last thing I got for you. Old pal Josh Dobbs signed with the 49ers today. Good for him. Good for him.
He went to the 49ers?
Yes. Yeah.
My man. Good for him.
Good for him. It's a good spot for him.
Hell yeah. Because every quarterback is successful in that system.
Yeah.
I've never seen a system be more successful for every quarterback that goes to it.
It's Shanahan has a quarterback friendly system. And it shows.
It's because they have so many coaches. They have so many coaches that can zoom in on one player. It really is almost a 1-to-1 ratio, damn near, because that's how many coaches they have, or a 1-to-2 ratio. So I think that really is why they're so successful. But
it's a big reason for it, for sure. It's a big part of it.
Yeah.
All right, Dave, that's all I got. Unless you got anything else.
Nah, that's it, brother.
All right. You can follow me on Twitter at SteelersThanks16. Email the show at daver@steelersanctuary.com. Subscribe to the podcast. Go hit that subscribe button for us right now. That helps us out a great deal. Dave, give me stuff. Let's get out of here.
Yep. Find me on Twitter at DMC3SSP. Find me on TikTok at Steelers Sanctuary Podcast or at Steelers Pod. I got the sports books, guys. If you're interested in that, it's signupexpert.com/nothings.
Dave, we're all waiting for the hodgepodge of nothingness to come
I know.
back.
I've been prepping, literally been prepping for it. I was about to do it today and something came up I've been doing with. So like, it's like, ugh. And the Steelers shit don't help. It's nonstop.
No doubt.
So,
Let's keep it busy.
Let's just put it this way. Sometime this week, I'm dropping the season 2 of the Hodgepodge Nothingness podcast. Let's just put it that way.
We'll be waiting. All right. Thanks for listening to the Steelers Sanctuary.